Today's film is the only known Italian contribution to the torture porn genre, creatively titled The Torturer, released in 2005. The film stars Simone Correnti and Elena Boica. The music is by Paolo Vivaldi. It was written by 6 people and was directed by Lamberto Bava. The 24-year-old aspiring actress Giannetti Cazzone goes to an audition with the underground director Alex Scherber, and they have a one-night stand. Giannetti is then led to believe that Alex might have abducted her friend, and she decides to break into Alex's paternal house to investigate, and she finds Marzia's fate. Meanwhile, 3 other women go to the theatre to have an audition with Alex, and they are tortured. Will Giannetti have the same destiny as the other women? Lamberto Bava takes on the torture porn film and removes the American double standard, and even removes the pretense of his own films by appropriating the aesthetics and torture sequences of Hostel and Saw by adding a heavily sexualized element. Shot on digital video, we are well removed from the days of Macabre and Blade in the Dark when it comes to Lamberto Bava's filmography. Kudos to Bava for probably making the only Italian Saw ripoff of note during its popularity. Of course, like with most Italian ripoffs, you are not going to get things one-to-one, even if filmmakers like Bruno Mattei try. Instead of abandoned factories and elaborate tracks, you instead have something of a meta take on Jigsaw, with a faceless fetish film director auditioning very beautiful women before torturing them to death. I think it's something to do with capturing the moment of both ecstasy and horror. I think that's what it was. Much like the killer's motivation in Peeping Tom, which the torturer takes a lot from. Despite being on digital video, Bava still knows better than most how to cover a scene and creates a highly stylish horror film, no doubt helped by the new freedom granted to him by non-linear editing. The film definitely tries to crib that Fincher-esque video noise with quick cutting and multiple filters, and it is effective, especially with a degree of sexualization within the film the Saw franchise would not dare go near. What also helps is a decent cast, especially Simone Correnti, who plays a tortured soul to the back seats, and I'm always here for it. The music was crap, very generic and much of its time. If this soundtrack turned up in an asylum film, I wouldn't even notice. In conclusion, The Torturer is a decent torture porn film which doesn't have the elaborate gore or traps that Saw or Hostel have, but it has a better story than any of those films and has a more sexualized nature, which will elicit discomfort in its audience nonetheless. I would recommend this film to Lamberto Bava completionists, torture porn fans, and anyone who was curious as to whether Italian genre films were still being made by the 2000s. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tomorrow we conclude Halloween Italiophon with The Curse of the Blind Dead.